Well, welcome once again to Start It Up, where we talk to entrepreneurs about their latest ideas, their new ventures. And with me is Daniel Noble to talk about Wooboard. So Wooboard, I mean, it could mean one of many things, Wooboard, couldn't it? But it's really a way of encouraging people at work, basically.
Look, it is. Most companies have very limited forms of recognition around major objectives in people's jobs and duties. Wooboard fills the gaps in between those milestone events to the everyday.
Right.
When staff are hired, the salaries negotiated until the next review. What do you motivate your staff with? It's not money.
Yeah.
It's something more than that.
Yeah. And it is very important. It gets down to that discretionary effort, doesn't it, within businesses?
Absolutely. I mean, most organisations unfortunately fight this issue of staff not just doing the bare minimum to keep their job, especially in larger organisations. And Wooboard is a way of making people feel valued and worthy of a variety of things in their workplace, and it's a very easy tool to teach behaviours of how to recognise each other for simple things to really important things.
So how does it work then?
Very simple. It's a web-based application. You pick the person you want to give a woo to or form recognition to. Why are you giving them a woo? So you say what it's for and pick a little hashtag, hit the send button, and it blasts it off into the woosphere, so to speak, and everyone can see it. And that's what's great about it. It's not just between you and a manager. It's not between just you and one other person. It's for the whole organisation to see what you've done. And it could be something as simple as thanks for holding down the fort while I was away from my desk, to great presentation with the clients yesterday. Right.
And is it intended that companies will be using this the same as they use KPIs, those performance indicators?
Well, that's the part that's really interesting. We've got 1,400 companies that have signed up on the site, and 50,000 woos have been sent since February this year. And what's happened now is that the staff are walking into their reviews with their woos under their arm.
Right.
And why they like this is because the typical review where you fill out your survey and the manager fills out his survey and you compare the two together.
They've never done well, are they?
And that's right. And what they've got here is a testimony of all the things they've done, not just for their job description, but from their peers. So it's kind of an honesty sheet where the employee feels like the manager can't kind of mark him harshly, and the manager has some really great data from 6 months ago, which he just doesn't have.
But I mean, can you guide it towards actually what the company is trying to achieve? I mean, for example, you could get a woo from people just saying, love the shirt you're wearing today.
Look, true. I mean, the whole idea of Wooboard is to reward staff for actions and behaviours in line with the company. I've got a great story at PricewaterhouseCoopers. They had one little manager went up to his boss and said, "Look, your LinkedIn pages are great. The discussion pages are a bit funny. I could probably do them a bit better. How about just give me a crack at it?" So he did that, and one of the senior guys sent him a woo. Said, "Great job on the LinkedIn pages." Now his team went to their team leader and said, "What's this guy getting a woo for?" And they told him he volunteered to do these LinkedIn pages. All of a sudden, he said everyone started volunteering to do extra work. Right. So there was a behaviour that was seen as getting rewarded. And everyone said, "Well, I want that. I want that reward. I want that recognition."
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, this behaviour changed. So the whole idea is that over time, there's like a social conscience forms of what's great and what's not. And the way we score it as well means that a woo for thanks for the coffee or nice tie doesn't get kind of scored as high as great job presenting yesterday, and 4 of your other peers have also liked it and agreed with you on that.
Right. Okay. So this is an enterprise solution by and large, isn't it? When I go to the site, it looks almost like a consumer site. That familiar, easy to subscribe and sign up and get started. But surely the benefit really is for bigger companies, isn't it?
Look, it is, and that's part of the appeal of the product. Many recognition programs out there at the moment are quite intensive, both from a time and a capital perspective. And Wooboard is this whole, it has a really interesting front and back end that makes the users really like it. It's easy, it's quick, it doesn't distract you from doing your job, it can be done in an instant. But on the same other side of the coin, it has a lot of what we call cultural analytics, which is something that's not done in the market, and management really like that because it gives everyone the meaning behind why we're wooing.
Yeah. And looking at trends over time as well, I guess.
Absolutely.
See if the company's heading in the wrong direction, or the culture's heading in the wrong direction.
The simple act of recognition, the interaction between you and I in an organisation, the size of your network, the types of woos you're getting, what values they're attached to, over what period, stuff like change management, influence. These are employee sentiment are really interesting things that can't normally be tracked by surveys and by reviews.
But is there a danger, though, that there could be favoritism happening here? That you've got somebody who's just, that it's going to pander to the extroverts because they are well liked, so they're going to get wooed more than perhaps, the guy sitting in the back room who's actually doing all the hard work and making everyone else look good?
Sure. Look, the way Wooboard is designed is that wooing is just one part of it. You've got those people who just love to compete and they just want to woo and they want to send out woos for everything. And you have those that just by their sheer nature just aren't in for that. So Wooboard's designed looking at the woos, the quality of the woos, the values they're attached to, the support factor. So, for example, I might not send a lot of woos, but I like to look at what's happened in the organisation. I can like it and throw in my hat with that woo and support it. So the way that the wooing scoring works, it really equalises the playing field because I might woo far less than you, but my quality is very high. So my
you're a quality wooer.
That's right.
That's good. So you talk on your on the video that you've got on your website. You talk about it being based on gaming principles. So just briefly tell me about that.
Yeah. Look, the whole idea, this is happening across many disciplines in business, is for people to use a system. There has to be an appeal factor to them. And any person that's done an extensive change management process in an organisation will tell you that you can spend all this money, but if you can't bring you can bring a horse to water, you can't make it drink. So the gamification aspect makes the whole process fun and engaging, and attracts people to come back again and again and again. And why it's important is because without people using it, we can't get data to make management pay for it. So the two of them link together, and both people have to get what they want. And gamification is happening now across many disciplines in change management, in recruiting, in sales and marketing. There's a whole variety of raft are using this form of gamification techniques, and they work very well.
Never been so much fun to go to work, has it?
That's right.
So how's this getting paid for? So people are basically, it's a subscription model, presumably?
Look, it is. It's, again, very simple. There is a seat cost per user per month. The seat costs range from $1 through to $5, and that depends on the types of analytics and reporting you want to get out of the platform. Right. Very simple.
And you'll be selling this presumably into HR departments in companies.
Yeah. Look, it's interesting. HR departments are inundated with every company wants to get the attention span of HR, and what we felt was instead of trying to convince them, we'd let the staff convince them. So what we've got is that our system, given there's no installation of software, it's very low cost, falls within most budgets for a department. All of our companies that came on started with one department team leader signing up for his 25, 30 staff. Right. And then they really liked it, and then another department got it, and then we go to the HR manager 6 months down the track saying, look, we've got 250 staff using this platform. You should look at it as a rollout for your whole organisation.
But it's an enterprise, so I mean, even whether you go direct to HR or whether you get to them having got to a department first, you've still got to get to those decision makers. So it's still an enterprise sales can be difficult. I mean, so you've got something which is low in revenue per user. But you've still got all the selling costs. That must be problematic, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we designed Wooboard to be sit within the viral space. That's why we started that way. The idea that a team leader or a department head can just say, you know what, within my budget, allowance, I can pay $500 a month to get my guys on use this platform, give it a go. So we don't really need sign-off at that level. And then what's great about that is when we do go to HR, we go to them with a bunch of data from their own staff. We survey companies when we start, we survey at the end, and we say, look at the increase in various areas of the business. And we go with a really strong case. And we also go in with a testimonial from their own staff and say, look, we've been using it for 3 months. Yeah. We want this.
Sure, that's a good, strong position.
And when we do that, HR then make time to speak to us and hear what we have to say, because it's not us professing how good we are, it's their staff telling them this is really good, we should get it. Right.
Okay, well look, it makes perfect sense. It's still early days for you, we'll see how it goes, but in the meantime, of course, as always, people have an opportunity to vote. Down there somewhere, underneath the video, you can vote whether you think this idea is really going to succeed or not. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.